Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. For you guys today, I'm going to be copying once more Khaki Reviews Beauty because she did a my signature look video. And basically hers is like a one and done. She calls it like a bedroom eyes brown shade with really glowy skin and, you know, I think like blushy cheeks and kind of like glossy lips. Mine is more of like, I mean, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I usually do like a brown smoky eye with a gold shimmer on the lid, really bronzy, glowy skin, but also like super set down through here. So that being said, that's what we're gonna do, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. If you want to see, please stick around. If not, subscribe. Go eat some ice cream or some, I don't know. Have fun, you guys. So one of the first things I do when I'm going for like really glowy skin, which is what I usually start out with, is I reach for a moisturizer. This is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. It's basically a moisturizer, only it's one that I'm trying to use up for my project pan. So we're just gonna use this. And I do about that much. And smooch it on the face. Like so, and just and then I also will bring it up underneath my eyes, even though I do technically have the eye base one as well. But yeah, so there's that. And then for the eyeshadow, because I let this soak in for a second just to give it a minute to actually properly set down or get smooched into the face. I need to go grab something. Okay, so for my eyes, I usually just will prep with a concealer for my eye base. So this one is the MAC Studio Fix concealer, or the MAC Studio Finish concealer. It is a thicker texture, so I would recommend using your fingers to warm it up a little bit. It just works better. Like that. And then to achieve my brown smoky eye today, I'm going to be using the Cold Brew Quad from Kaleidos. And brushes would be helpful. Okay. That's my shadow brushes. So I'm just gonna take a fluffy brush and start with this shade right here. And I normally just put this color, like a color similar to this, in my crease as the transition shade. You could always use a bronzer too, if you want to. I've done that several times because it also just adds cohesion. But I take this color and I just kind of blend it into the crease and just blend it up towards the eyebrow till it is more visible. I have pretty heavy hooded eyes, so I always take it up higher so that you can actually see it. But that's also kind of why my eyeshadow looks tend to be pretty basic. It's just because you can't see half of it if I do a super colorful look anyway, or like a super intense look. You can't see it, so I just kind of do that. And then what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go into this darker, well, actually I'm gonna take this type of a brush really quick and just put a little bit of shadow there and bring that color underneath my eyes. this adds like that smokiness. It adds like a daytime level smokiness. It's dark outside where I live right now, so I'm gonna go into this darker shade right here, pat it on, and then pat this color onto my outer corner and kind of just smudge it on the outside part, because then we can go back in with the brush in a little bit of the darker color and just blend. But see, now I've got like that depth, and when I bring my finger out and I pull it out, it kind of gives me like a winged effect as well, which I quite like. So I'm gonna take that brush that we used to pack it on, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of that darkest color like halfway. And then I'm gonna take a brush that has like a similar type thing and mix these two shades together and just use that like so. Okay. Now, if you have like a white cream shade, you could very easily just tap that on there if you want to. I'm going to take the sparkly shade in here, and I just use my finger and just put that on. Just like that. And it's just a wash of color. And then what you can do, you can, again, like, mix these two shades together and just use that to blend out the harshness. So that's kind of like my signature eye look. If I'm going for like a more nighttime, if I was just going to work or whatever, I really would have just used these two shades, like these two mattes, and then the sparkle shade. So there's that. I'm gonna go do my other eye really quick. Okay, so not gonna lie to you guys, it's been about an hour and a half since the last clip that you all just saw, because my light battery died, so I had to stop and charge it. But what I did was I took, and this is what I usually do, I took these two shades in this eyeshadow palette and mixed them together, and then I put that through my eyebrows, and then I spooled them up, and then I just took my concealer and kind of carved out the top. That's what I do most of the time. So then next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double prime. This is the Marshmallow Primer by NYX. This one gives a lot more of a glow than the Bobbi Brown one, especially since it's been so long since I applied the Bobbi Brown. And then this one also helps. It kind of acts as like a gentle, I feel like it acts as like a gentle mattifier as well. Well, you can't really have glowy and matte, but like it just, I feel like it helps with oil control. Not necessarily making it more matte, but it helps with oil control. So there's that. Then for foundation, what I do a lot of the time is, other than beat the schnockers out of my sister for getting into my makeup, I will mix two foundations together. So I have MAC Face and Body and then Urban Decay Tinted Hydromaniac. These are both glowy, but this one has a little bit more coverage. So I do about that much of the one that has more coverage. And then I'm going to mix it together with the MAC one. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a brush and we're just going to mix them together. So I need a mirror so I can see. But yeah, I'm just going to take the handle of the brush and just mix it together. You can always use a sponge too, if you'd like. If that helps. And I try to always start out with less foundation than what I think I'm going to need. Just because you can always add more foundation. It is a lot harder to take it back, if that makes sense. Since I carved out my eyebrows already, I don't need as much on my forehead. And the reason I like mixing is because it lets me build my own coverage level. So as you guys can see, like, I still have really glowy skin, but it still looks like skin. Unfortunately, I don't like it when my skin looks like skin for the most part. So I'm going to do a little bit more of that combo. Tinted Hydromaniac, or Stay Naked Hydromaniac, whatever it is. And then Face and Body. And we just do it all over again. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. Alright, so now we have on the foundation. I'm going to take the MAC concealer that I used as my eye base. And I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to warm it up on my fingers. This is a cream concealer. So when you warm it up, it goes farther. And I'm just going to take a little bit and smoosh that on my face, like in the key areas. So I brighten down the center and underneath my eyes. We're not going super bright today, but this also adds coverage a little bit as well. And I'm just going to take a brush and blend it out. If you want, you can use your finger as well. It helps to keep the product more mobile. So just like that. The thing I like about this concealer is normally I will use like a hydrating concealer, but those tend to crease on me, even though like that's what I love to use. This doesn't crease as much, so I really appreciate that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to set with a little bit of powder. This one is the MAC Prep and Prime powder. It's really super finely milled. And I'm just going to pour out a little bit. And I'm only going to set in my T-zone. And I'm going to use a powder puff to do that. So I completely coat the puff with powder. And then tap out on the back of my hand. And just like that. And that's all I do, because that I feel like is what gives the best result. And I set right here around the edges of my nose too, but I don't actually set my nose yet. If you use a really liquidy concealer or a really thin consistency concealer, I wouldn't necessarily go in with powder right away like that, just because it can get kind of gummy and that's not a pretty look. But because one, I used a thicker concealer, two, I used like the thinnest layer possible, it should be fine. If you want, you can wipe away the excess powder. That's what I usually do. But the thing I like about that powder is it doesn't settle at all into finer lines and creases. Just like that. Now, what I'm going to do next is I am going to cream bronze. And for that, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Bronzer in the shade Amber. I do tend to use a brush for this. I personally just think it works better. If you want, you can use a sponge, though. It's up to you. So I will take a brush, like a concealer brush, just because it gives you really precise accuracy. I put some product on, and then I draw it on, essentially. Like that. Just like that. And you draw it on, and it helps to, I think, control where you're putting the product. Like that. And then down my nosy. Like that. Like that. Now, this looks bonkers, I am aware. But what I do next is I take the same brush that I used for my foundation and I blend it out. If you used a sponge, use a sponge. Just blend it out. So, that's what I'm going to do. And do you see how I just have like a nice warmth to the skin, but it looks really well blended? You get that a lot when you use your foundation brush, because your foundation brush already has your complexion color all over it. So when you blend it with this, you're basically helping to blend out the edges and whatnot, which is what I like to do. And then what I do on top of that is I will set a cream bronzer with another bronzer, just so that it maintains its integrity. So for that, I'm using this beast. This is the Marc Jacobs Coconut Omega Bronzer in Tantastic. And this is kind of what really helps with the bronziness of what I do, while still maintaining the glow. Because the glow is what's important to me. I love a glow. And just like that. And then if you want, you can take your foundation brush again and just soften any edges if there are any. And then what I do is I will take a concealer, a foundation, I will take something and another brush and I will clean up underneath the edges of my bronzer just to clean it up, make it look a little bit sharper. So like that. And that looks intense, I know. And then I'll do the little line thingy down my nose again. Just like that. And I just rub it in. And that just helps soften it. And you don't need a lot of concealer to do that. Right there. And now do you see how my face is like way more angled? I like that look. It also helps the fact that like my jawline is being very contoured right now because of the way my light is, because my chin is right there. But it looks really pretty. Just go like that. If you want, you can take your powder puff, and at this point you can get away with taking what's left and going toot 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 and just lightly setting it. That's kind of how I do it. Blush. I do use blush, but I want a glowy blush, so let me go get a glowy blush, friends. So once again, I do layers for the blush. This is the NARS cream blush in the shade Maui. I will rub it on the back of my hand a little bit just to warm it up, but that's the color. And then I literally go like that. And that's how I use this. I love this product too. It's such a nice, like, light consistency. And then I just use my fingers and blend. Blend it into the bronzer, blend it up a little bit, just so it looks more flushed. And then if I'm feeling extra, which if I'm bothering to do like a full intense face like this, because while this is like my everyday makeup, I don't do my makeup every day. Usually, because I only get like 5 hours of sleep and I'm too tired to get up earlier than what I already do to do my makeup. But yeah, there you go. What I'll do is I will just take like a really loose brush like this that has like a slight angle to it. I'll go into a powder blush that is glowy, because do you see how we've maintained the glow? This one is from Pat McGrath in the shade Love Struck. Big fluffy brush. Tap it off and then powder. And we still have the glow without adding a highlighter, because that is something I found I've taken a step back from, is actually using highlighter as much as what I was using it. I don't do that as often anymore. It's really weird for me. If we're being honest, it's really strange. And then the last thing I do is my mascara and lipstick. So I'm gonna do my mascara really quick. Okay, so there's the eyes completely done. The rest of the face is really done. The last thing I do is I will take a lipstick. This one is from Kaleidos in the shade Smoke Show. So it's more of like a cool toned brown, which I don't really want with like how warm, well, I guess it is kind of a cooler tone look, but I love this formula of lipstick because it's moussey and I love that. But since I do want a slightly lighter lipstick for today, and I'm too lazy to get up again and go grab one, even though it's like 20 feet away, not even, I'm going to take a smidgen bit of concealer and mix it. Mixy, 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 mix. So now we end up with that color, except I also, do I want more pigment? I need to replace some of these because I am almost out. So see, this is like the original color, and that's the color that we have right now. I am gonna mix a little bit more together like that because I love like a really pale nude lip. And then this is too pale even for me, so we're going to get more. Of the lipstick. Let's see. I like that though. That's like a really nice moussey consistency. But yeah, so this is kind of like my signature look. Like I said, glowy skin, brown smoky eye, pretty pale nude lip. I love a pale lip, especially a pale nude lip. And then if I had a darker lip liner, I love like 90s style makeup. That's kind of my jam. But anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do not forget to subscribe and give it a thumbs up, as I would very much greatly appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!